something. It's not either. I think it was right here.
I think chap 15,393 in that area, I think is in that area.
Yeah, let me hide my current markings. Yeah, that's right here. Okay. So I believe this was on the hourly for this fair value gap. Yeah, I did not start on the 4 hour for this. I think I had the highs already pre-marked. This was a quick analysis as well. I saw this huge drop here. And then I saw this slow crawl back up. So that led me to believe it's going to be another drop. And then I saw this here. So what I wanted it to do was actually to come into the fair value gap for an entry, but it tapped it. It had already tapped it when I found this. So I was like, oh, this is not good enough. So I was like, I had put that in the call out too. I was like, I wanted to come back into it, and it didn't. It did not tap me in at London. So when I got up for New York, I think I was on the 15, and I was waiting. This was looking ugly to me. So I was like, oh, I might not get an entry this morning. But then I saw another fair value gap formed here. And I did not catch it on time, guys. I actually catched it like somewhere coming out of here during this drop. So I kind of saw this this like a little M here. So I was like, okay, that was confluence enough for me. So I entered somewhere around here in this area. But this coming into this fair value gap and pushing back out was a second entry area for me. So that's where I got in at, and I caught the drop. I didn't come all the way down, but I caught most of it. So that was it. That the analysis to begin with wasn't very in depth. I didn't start from the 4 hour, go all the way down. NQ is something I trade regularly, so I kind of like already kind of have like its markup in my head already. So when I look at it, I'm like, oh, this is where I left off. This is where I'm going forward. So I really don't start from the 4 hour down on analysis on NQ or for Forex NAS because I trade it all the time. But that was pretty much the gist of that. It was very quick. When I see huge drops like that in market structure like that, and then like this like little slow crawl to either back up or to the side, like that leads me to believe that it's not enough buying pressure to push back up. So once it's going to be like another push down. So that was my quick analysis on that. Did you have any questions,
Thank
extra
you.
questions on that?
No, that's it. Just wanted to see what was your thought process when you looked at it.
Gotcha, no problem. Yeah. So that's another thing y'all can use as a tip. Like look for the huge pushes in market structure. And then I call like price action like this, like it's called like the slow crawl of death because it's like you're getting like walked to the guillotine just to get, that's kind of morbid, but to get, your execution and then just drop back off or get pushed back up or yeeted back up. So if anytime you see that type of price action, just keep that in mind that it's basically gonna do another push. It's not guaranteed, but it's a good thing to look at. If it's a bullish trend? Same thing. Let's see if there's one. Actually, let me go back to something else and see if I can find. This one is not as heavy. This one was a big heavy push, but then kind of slowed down. I can't find one right now. Oh wait, this one's a good one, but there's no like slow crawl, like so. But yeah, I can't find one right now. But if I spot another one for a bullish trend, I'll screenshot it. But yes. Any other questions, y'all? And let me know if I'm going too fast because I talk fast sometimes. Y'all are quiet. I'm gonna assume that y'all are tapped out of questions. Everybody straight. You understand brokers. You understand how to use the position calculator. You understand your trading plans. You get chalk. You know, get how to enter off chalk. You get how to enter off brick of structure. You get the difference between the two. So if I give y'all a quiz, y'all gonna pass with a 90 or higher. Brokers, sure. So there are US based brokers. There's a few of them, not a lot. Those are regulated. Those are typically the one with lower leverage, which means you have constricted buying power. Those are your Owandas and your Forex.com. Then you have also brokers that are outside the US but take US citizens. Those are unregulated. Well, with the exception of maybe one or two that are regulated by bodies of power outside the US. Those are like most people know Hanko Trade. Some people know the other ones that people don't typically like KOT Forex or Hugo's Way. Sway Markets, I think, is one that's regulated outside the US. Those give you a lot of leverage, which means you have more breathing room to trade. You have better buying power. So those are your 1 to 100 to 1 to 500 leverages. And then you have your brokers for non-US based citizens. So you have I think it's Think Markets, 8cap. I think there's Purpleberry or something like that. I listed them all in the Discord, but those are also like high leverage as well, I believe. They're not constricted. So those are the main differences with them. Most of them you can deposit with crypto. Rachel is really good. Oh, Blueberry has 1 to 500. Great. Okay. You want to have, so most people will fund their accounts with Cash App or Coinbase. I do not know anything about crypto.com. They did not want me. They did not want to validate my phone number. I don't think they're good to use anyway anymore. I think they're going through legal issues, if I'm not mistaken. But Coinbase and Cash App are the main ones, and Rachel's really good with that. Let's see. I think some of them you can deposit as little as $10 to get started. And yeah, I think the most thing that people look for when looking for a good broker is how fast you give them money. Because that's the main thing. Like most people trade with unregulated brokers, and the things that keep them like in the game in this industry is, do they pay out their customers? So I think Soy Markets has a good reputation thus far. They're new to the industry, but I think they have a good reputation for paying out people fast. So yeah, that's pretty much them in a gist. Did you have any additional questions about brokers that you wanted to know about? I currently like Sway Markets. I am using Sway Markets right now. No other questions? Sure. How to paper trade. Let's see. Okay. So if you come down to this little area here at the bottom, it says Stock Screener, Pine Editor. You want to come all the way to the right of that bar. There's a little arrow. You want to click on that. And then, oh, I must have forgot about this. Do not, guys, I forgot about this paper trade. Don't judge me off of that. Uh, so there is a little, like when you come to, let me get out of it. When you come to the trading panel, it's going to have all of these little squares, and you just click on paper trading for trading view. Should be the first one. Connect it, and it's going to give you like a balance. I think you can reset it right here. If you click on paper trading, reset paper trading account, and then you can set it to any value. If you want to do something like So you want to try like a prop firm size, you can do 25K or 10,000. And it'll change that to that account balance. And then, so basically when you trade on TradingView, if you are trading Forex, it is going to be very different than paper trading on MT5 or MT4. Because on MT5 and MT4, you're going to put in lot sizes. So on here, you have to convert your lot sizes to units. So most people don't have to do that when they're trading Forex, but if you prefer TradingView, that is something you're going to have to do. So basically, once you figure out what lot size you need, you're going to have to add that extra step and multiply that lot size by 100K. So if you're doing one lot size, which a lot size of one, that your units is going to be 100K. If you're trading 5 lots, 500K, and so forth and so forth. So say I wanted to sell on this currency pair here, you're going to hit sell. And if you're doing a limit order, of course, like say I want price to come up, get my tool out. I want price to come up to here before it sells. I want to put that price into right here. So that is 1.95059. Okay, and then I wanted to do maybe one lot size. So that's 100,000 units. And then you can put in your take profit level and your stop loss here. You can put it by a number of pips or your price. That's whatever you determine. So it's always good to have your short or long position tool on the screen before you do this, because it'll already be measured out for you. So let's see, my stop loss is 13.2 pips and take profit is 73.1. Okay, and then you just hit sell and it's going to put a bracket on the screen. And then you can adjust this if you want to go higher or lower for your stop loss, and adjust this higher or lower for your take profit. You can also do a market order, which will just enter you right wherever price is. So I'm going to hit this X to take this order off. And then again, you can do take profit or stop loss again. If you don't care about that, you can just hit sell immediately to get in right where you are. And then you can later determine where your stop loss is going to be by just moving it up and moving your take profit down. And it'll create that bracket for you again. See. You're welcome. Paper trading. What is paper trading? It's basically just you're using electronic fake funds to basically maybe test out a strategy or test your trading ability before you invest real money into the market. So it's just a trading tool to utilize to make sure you are ready to enter the real live market. And you can usually just replenish. It's like monopoly money, basically. So y'all fund your accounts with your own money instead of using a prop firm. No, I am a prop firm trader. I love prop firm trading because I'd rather spend that $150 to get 100K or 50K than to put that into a real account and stress out trying to flip that, because it is more stressful than flipping a small account. I've gotten good at passing challenges, so it's it's better for me to just use that money for a prop firm account. Let's see. Does order blocks mean multiple rejection points in the market? Do you use a specific time frame to look for those? No, order block is just a candlestick that usually is of the opposite direction. They're not always the opposite direction, but they usually are. Before a very huge push up or down in the market. So, and in that, for me, there has to be a fair value gap in that push up or down for it to be considered an order block for me. So, this right here, take this off. I think this is a very tiny fair value gap. Yeah, it's a very tiny one, but it is one. So this is the fair value gap. And then most people would consider this bearish candle before the push up to be the order block, but I stopped doing that. I just consider the last candle before the fair value gap. So It doesn't, for me, it doesn't have to be the opposite color anymore. Most of the time, it's just gonna come, if it is gonna come into the order block, it's gonna stop somewhere within this area anyway. So yeah, so that would be an order block. Let's see, we have another push with a fair value gap that broke the last high. So this candlestick before the fair value gap is the order block. There's a bearish one right here. Here's a fair value gap. So it would make that tiny candlestick or doji right here, order block. Let's see. You're welcome. And I hope that order block explanation made sense. But yeah, now can it come into it more than once? Yeah, it can, but I typically would like it to reject off of it once. Usually if it's doing it multiple times, it's kind of for me playing around in it. And I do not like that type of price action when it comes to order blocks. I like a straight wick in and push out. Yeah, sure. No problem. So let me find a good example. So for me, an order block is just a candlestick prior to a push up or push down in the market that broke structure. So if we're marking structure on this chart here, let's say we'll say right here, let's break a structure. This is not a good clean market structure, by the way. I'm just using this as an example. So it broke this little high, and this bullish structure like pushed so heavy that it left behind a fair value gap, which is what I would be looking for. Ooh, what did I? Sorry, y'all. Fair value gap. Let me just push the replay button real quick. Okay. So because this fair value gap formed on this candle, I would just mark this candle below it right here as an order block. So it has to have a huge push up or down. It has to break the last lower high. And once it broke structure, then once I have those two characteristics, then whatever candlestick is behind or above the fair value gap is my order block. Do you give your stop loss room off the order block, or your stop loss is right at the end, saying that you're looking for price just to tap into? I do account for both the fair value gap and order block. So, but I do scale in if it's too large. So say for instance, I wanted to buy from here. So I would put my entry right above this fair value gap, and I will push this down a little bit lower. It doesn't have to be all the way down below this low, just like right here somewhere, wherever you decide you want to put it, just as long as it encompasses both of those pieces of price action or both of those candles. But if I'm like, I don't like 30 pips is too large for me. So I will definitely go down to the 5 at that point. And then I will wait for price to do its thing in this area and then give me another entry. And then whatever it leaves behind here, so this is the next brick of structure here coming out of that area. And then say my order block and fair value gap was, oops, I could delete that. So once it did this inside these areas and it created another fair value gap, which gave me another order block as well. Set that above the new fair value gap on the smaller time frame. And now my stop loss is 11 pips. So if it's too big, I scale down. I typically want my stop loss to be 20 pips or less. 10 pips is preferred. But 20 pips is good as well. So for the fair value gap, do you have to mark up 2 candle wicks before and after the impulsive move? Trying to make sure I understand that correctly. So for the fair value gaps, you basically, okay, when I'm looking for them, the first step in my search for a fair value gap is I need to find breaker structure. So once I find that, then I'm looking for the fair value gap. So sorry guys. So like here we got a break right here. So once my eyesight once I spot this on the chart, I'm like, oh, okay, we have a breaker structure or change of character. Now, did that cause a push so heavy that it left a fair value gap? So now I'm looking for a space, a gap. And that gap is created by candle 1 in the series. In this case, it's a bear, so I'm looking for the low of candle 1 and the high of candle 3. And it should leave me a gap. They should not meet in the middle. Is that making sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, you're welcome. So yes, okay, good. So yes, find your break first, find your breaker structure in the market, and then get your eyes trained to find the fair value gap in that push. And this is a nice push. This is what I want to see. I want to see 3 uniform candles with the middle candle giving me a fair value gap. Sometimes it will give you multiple fair value gaps, and if it does that, we want the first one that was created in that series of candles. What do I trade for futures? So I do have a few on here, but the main ones, I'll highlight them on my list. So this right here is micro gold. I only trade micros. Only time I didn't trade micros is when I traded corn, because I don't have a choice. There's no micros for corn, but I do like corn. So that is now one of my heavy trades. I can't trade it right now because for some reason Traderz has restricted people from trading it. I think because it was paying out well. But I trade corn, I trade micro gold. I do trade silver from time to time. I'll mark this like purple because I don't trade it as much. And then of course I love me and Q. That was my first thing I traded when I got to futures. So I traded a lot. That is my main squeeze. And ES moves similar to NQ. I think ES actually pays out more, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. 375. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Okay, no, wait, that doesn't match. Hold on. Yeah, it does. Okay, so ES pays out more, but I'm just so accustomed to NQ that I automatically just click on that one. But that is also on my list. But those are the main ones. Gold, corn, sometimes silver, and then NQ, which is known as NOS 100 and Forex. Liquidity sweeps. I used to look for them like, oh, I gotta find a liquidity sweep first before I enter the market. But when I was trading like that, I used to get stopped out a lot. Like I was always the liquidity. I don't know why. I don't understand why. But when I changed it to the way I'm trading now, I guess like for some reason I avoid becoming liquidity. And I think it's because when price comes into fair value gaps or the order block, that is considered a liquidity sweep as well. So I guess that automatically puts me on the right side of the market. But yeah, when I was looking for these like little, like you would have like some like this, and then price would just come up and then shoot down and then come back up and then do this little thing. Like I used to look for that, and it like, yeah, it was not working for me. It was not, we was not friends. So I stopped doing that. um, where are you trading corn on? So if you have like a prop firm that uses Traderz, you typically can trade corn. But right now Traderz is my platform on most of my futures accounts, so I can't trade it right now. I was trading it on Top Step, and then Top Step literally like gypped me my profits. Like they took away my profits for corn, so they just closed it all together. So anything I'm trading on futures right now does not give me corn to trade on. But if you have a personal account on Traderz or TD Ameritrade, if you want to trade futures on there, which I think when I do go to a personal account for futures, I will prefer TD Ameritrade. You could probably trade corn on there as well. You do have to apply to trade futures though. So if you have a TD Ameritrade account now, please get that done ahead of time. Because when it comes to these futures and options accounts, they take business days to do everything. Can you give an explanation to what futures is? So honestly, I don't know the textbook definition. I just know that they are tickers that you trade in the market off of contracts. Like, to me, I trade them exactly the same as I trade Forex, like market structure and everything. They look like the same type of chart. Sometimes they may be a little bit more gappy depending on what you trade, but I trade them exactly how I trade in Forex. So to me, the only difference is you trade them on a different type of broker and you use contracts versus lots. But you can also trade, like, these pink tags here are currencies. Like, this is majors. This is AUD USD. This is GBP USD. So you could trade. Now this is ugly, but when I turn on Hakanashi when I'm doing this. I'm just started adding the currency pairs to futures. I'm testing that out, but you can trade that on futures. So there's no major difference, except you just have to use a different type of broker platform, and instead of lots, you use contracts. What Forex pairs do you like to trade? I used to be, so most y'all know me as a London session trader. So I used to trade a lot of GBP pairs. But now I trade everything. Someone told me one day, he was like, why do you limit yourself? What if one pair is just ranging forever? Like, what are you gonna do? I was like, you know what, you got a good point. So I just added everything after that. So now I trade whatever gives me an opportunity in the market. So if I like the market structure, I like what I'm seeing on the chart, I'm gonna find an opportunity to trade it. But I was a heavy GBP pair trader before, early on in my trade career. Can you show an example on how you would enter a trade when price hits your fair value gap zone or order block? Yeah. Let's see. I think I did it already on your JBP. So I already have the zone marked out here. So here is a zone that I'm anticipating price to come up to, and I would like to sell off from it. So this is my short position tool. This is what I anticipate. This is my stop loss. This is my take profit. So I just plot that right there. Sometimes a little below the zone, just to give myself some room to like to come to the chart, because I'm going to set an alert here after this. But I would just place it right there, and then set my alert, and it's going to let me know when it comes to this area. And then I don't even wait to see what it's going to do inside of here. I'm just going to enter right off of it. And if it takes me out, then I've already know how much I'm going to potentially lose, because I have my stop loss set already, and I've calculated how much it's going to be. And that's it. That's pretty much it. And then let's see, what else? Do you trade full time? Yes, I currently do. I used to trade part time, but no, I'm now a full time trader. And that was thankful. Well, not thankful, but that was due to COVID, because I started working from home. I used to work in pharmacy. I was a retail pharmacy technician, and I had no time to do as much as I wanted to do. I couldn't devote as much time as I wanted to trading. And I didn't have like something like this. I didn't have a good like mentor early on. I didn't have a group. Like, it was literally like YouTube videos and blown accounts. And so, yeah, so hopefully here with people who have full-time jobs or long hours, we can cut that learning curve in half so you guys can, live your life to the fullest with trading. But yes, it was very hard to do that and work in pharmacy. Any other questions, y'all? And I hope that example of how I entered off the fair value gap was good. It was very simple, but I want to make sure I'm explaining it good enough. I feel you. I feel you. Trust me, we all feel y'all on that. We want y'all to have this to be a very good stream of income for you guys to invest in other things or give you time freedom to do the things you want to do. Is marking up order blocks in different time frames important? Yes, it is. So this, if you could tell, this purple zone here was on a 1 hour. So for me, that's even better confluence. For me, I do like entering on zones within a zone. So like if I find a order block or fair value gap on the 4 hour, I would definitely mark it up, especially if it's at a change of character and then price is close to it or coming up to it or coming down to it. Find another zone within that, and you pretty much like are doubling down on confluence. So yes, it's definitely important. Don't ignore those for sure. Now you can definitely get away without doing that by just like say this order block wasn't here and I just had this. That's fine too, but higher time frames reign, as they say. Um, you like your job, that's a blessing that you like your job. You want to make good money. I just want more. I feel you. We need all that we can get. Would like to be able to trade NY. That's one thing I could not do. That's why I'm a London trader, but I wanted to trade NY so bad. And now that I'm in futures and I can trade full time, now I'm getting up for NY and I do love it. Price moves heavier during NY and you get your TP hit faster. So yes, I love NY. But yeah, I was born London session. Any other questions? Do you usually mark up charts on higher time frames like the 4 hour, 1 hour? I start on the 4 hour. If I don't like what I'm seeing as far as like I think on here I saw like some funky price action on the 4 hour here in this area. Let me see. But I do start on the 4 hour. I barely go on the daily, y'all. I used to start from the daily. I do not start on the daily a lot anymore. I may check it out once or twice, but I rarely go up to the daily anymore. What did I see on here? I think it was no, I don't think I started on 4 hour here either. I think I started on 1 hour. Yeah, I did. And then I had found this order block. I think that was enough for me. And then I went down to the 15 after that. Yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I do. I start on the 4 hour. I'll go to the 1 hour if what I see is not clear enough. But it's usually 4 hour to find my main structure. Is it making higher highs, lower lows? I mean, higher highs, higher lows, and vice versa. If it's doing that, I'll just make a quick markup of the structure. Is it in retracement on the structure, or is it trying to enter, like, did chalk happen? I'm asking myself those questions on the 4 hour. And then I go down to the 15 straight away. Most times it's straight to the 15. 15 looking choppy and ugly, then I'll move up a time frame to the 1 hour to get cleaner price action. And that's the gist of my like maneuvering through the charts. I used to do top-down analysis like so meticulous when I first learned. I used to daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. Like I used to mark and just go there, but I used to get lost so many times doing that. It did not work for me. And yeah, honestly, when I met Jigga, he was like, I don't do all that. And I was like, well, I don't want to do all that either. Like, I don't think I need it. So I stopped doing that. And it's been great ever since. Um, see, you don't know if I answered this already, but what does your active and setup? Oh, so that's easy. So these are like, so they're color coded. So of course, red is for my equities and stocks. I'm getting into options. And this is for indices and futures. This is for Forex futures. And then this is like when I'm charting. So sometimes I'll like say I charted something, then I'll mark it yellow. Excuse me, guys. I'll mark it yellow. So lets me know I've already looked at it and there was something on there that I liked. So I left a markup on there. And then say like we're on your JB Euro yen. Excuse me, I cannot talk. We're on this pair currently, and it's already marked up. And I'm waiting for it to. So once I set an alert on the chart, then I'll mark it purple as setup ready. So that lets me know that it's ready to go. I'm just waiting for it to hit my alert. And then if it's in the trade and it's taking a minute to hit TP, I'll mark it green. Let me know like, hey, this one I'm waiting on it. Do I follow this all the time? No, but it is a good organization thing for me. But that's typically how I use the colors here. What times would you say you can see movement in your London session and your New York session? I feel like I always miss the major move. London, I feel like it picks up around 3 a.m. Eastern. So I think that's when you can see price dancing on the chart in London. I think London has a very short period of time for really good price action. So I think it's like maybe 3 a.m. to maybe 5 a.m. Eastern. Because after 5 it's dead. Like it's slow crawling. I don't see nothing moving. So I'm usually in bed before that time. So yeah, I would say that for 3 to 5 for London. For New York, you typically want to get in, you can start at 8:30 Eastern. And then I would say anything past 11 a.m. Eastern is kind of dying out. I think when it comes to options though, I think they have a power hour. I think that's like the last hour before the market closes, I think. Or maybe I think so. Don't quote me wrong on that, but or don't, I think it's like 3 to 4 Eastern or something like that for power hour. So you wait for a change of character to happen on your 4 hour before you drop down time frames to see when price gets into your fair value gap. So yeah, on the 4 hour, I don't wait for chalk. If chalk appears, then that's great. But I'm typically just waiting. I'm just looking to see what's happening on there. So let me go to a clean chart here. So here I would just be like, okay, what do I see? So my eyes automatically see a bullish trend. So in a bullish trend, I automatically want to mark my lows, my higher lows. I don't care about the highs, y'all. Like really, like when I'm looking at an uptrend, I don't really care about the highs unless I'm using it as a take profit area. Same thing in a bearish trend. I'm only looking at the highs in a bearish trend. I would say I place more importance on it. So in a bullish run, I'm looking at my lows. I'll just put this one here. So we see like it's still moving up. So I'm like, okay, it's still moving up. I don't see like a kind of retracement yet. It did pass this high already. So I'll keep note of that. And then I'll go down to the 15 automatically. And then look at my microstructure. So we do have a low here. Hasn't necessarily broke any lows in my opinion. So, but this low is failing to create a high right here. So we may be coming into chalk soon for the retracement to this 4-hour low. So I would say we'll be waiting on this happen first. And then chalk to come back up if it wants to continue back up. So I don't see an opportunity yet, in my opinion, on this. This is so ugly right here. I'm sorry, y'all. This is a good push happening. Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to unmute my mic so I can understand you clearly. So on the 4 hour, you are just analyzing your lows if it is a bullish trend. If it is a bearish trend, you're analyzing your highs. You're just gonna mark those, and then you're gonna drop down to your 15-minute, where you look to see when prices rechange or your microstructure, when prices what price does to retrace to the last low of the 4 hour.
Yes. So yeah, I'm microstructure. I'm looking to see if it's currently in the continuation of the trend or if it's coming into its retracement. So yeah, it looks like on my 15-minute, it's coming into chalk for the retracement. Now if it passes this 4-hour low, then now we have chalk on the higher time frame, and that would cause me to come back up and do more analysis. But at this time, I'm just waiting for it to finish its bearish like pull on the 15 to see if it's going to create that chalk. I would consider this little high, this little low right here though. I think it may be creating it right now, honestly, right here. So yeah, on this pair, Euro NZD, I would say it's creating chalk at the moment for a bearish run, which would be considered the retracement on the 4-hour. And then we would see if it would have chalk at this area to come back up or push past this low. We also have I think this is Mario's thing, but a rally-based rally. So it could possibly come all the way down to here as well. And then it could be considered a sweep and then still come back up as well. So there's a lot of wicks in this area. So for me, that's considered liquidity. And usually if there's an area below or above liquidity, it'll come down, tap into it, and then continue its run. So that's also like advanced price action as well. So that's something that could also happen. But that's how I would typically maneuver around my chart. I try not to do too much to get lost in it. I just try to, we're in an uptrend, find my lows, because when it breaks that low, then we're looking for a trend change. If it respects that low, then we're looking for a continuation. And then vice versa in a bearish trend on the 4-hour. Did I lose anybody? I hope I didn't lose y'all. You're welcome. I try to stay organized. I try. Any more questions, guys? I think we're tapped out. There's not any other. Futures hours are just like Forex. They're just about the same. I don't think there's any difference actually.
One quick question. I just want to know when the recording is going to be up.
Oh, yes, I'll always have it the same night. Like once we're off of here, it's gonna automatically save to my computer, and I will upload it as soon as it's done. I think we've been on here for a minute, so it may take a minute to finish downloading, but as soon as it's done, I got you guys.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Forex markets do close on the weekend. But I think you can still trade crypto and Forex on Saturday. But most of the time you're not going to trade Forex on the weekend. All right, y'all are good. No more questions. Y'all know how to mark up a chart, find your entry. You know how to make a trading plan. You know what you're going to put on your trading plan. Of course, if y'all have any questions after this, you can always add me or any of the other mentors in the Discord. We're always there to help you guys. So yeah. So just chart as much as you can. I'm not kidding, like chart. All right. And have one of us analyze it. The more you do it, the more it becomes like riding a bike. The faster you'll y'all see me, I go through my charts really fast. And that's the goal. You want to chart, get your analysis quick, and then you can spend the rest of your time getting your risk together so you can enter that trade. All right. All right, that's all then.
Thank you. Great session.
You're very welcome. I hope you guys got something out of it. Again, this will be uploaded tonight. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask me in Discord. And the homework is to create your trading plans. Please add me with your trading plans this week. I know that would be great. Again, they don't have to be special looking. They can be as basic as you want it to be or as flamboyant as you want it to be. It's for you. So yeah, and that'll be all, guys. If there's no other questions, I will see y'all later tonight on live.
Bye.
Good night.